It was a long, cold winter here in Cornwall and across the UK, and although spring took a while to arrive, it seems summer is fast approaching.
Here on Penryn campus, the skies are awash with birds foraging to feed their hungry chicks, pollinators like bees visiting the flowers, and students out enjoying the sunshine.
It hasn't been this balmy for long though, and on today's episode we're going to start by taking a look to see how some of our favourite wildlife managed to survive through the winter. All this and more on today's episode of Naturewatch!
Today we join Cornwall Bat Group to delve deeper into the world of bats. Cornwall has a rich history of mining, and abandoned mines like these make a great place for bats to hibernate. Bats in the UK are coming out of hibernation now, and hibernation surveys like these are a great way to measure population size. I've got my hard hat, I've got my torch, let's go find some bats. Over winter, bats have undergone a process called hibernation, which is when their metabolism slows and their temperature drops. During spring, some may wake up and go out on small foraging trips, and when the weather turns bad, they return to a sort of semi-hibernation state called torpor. Up here, we've just found a lesser horseshoe bat, Latin name Rhinolophus hipposideris, which is a bit of a mouthful for such a tiny bat. Horseshoe bats are really interesting because instead of echolocating through their mouth, they echolocate through their nose, which means that their calls on a bat detector sound really spooky like ghosts, which is awesome. So it's not just bats that use this cave, we've also found a pigeon nest. Now not many people find pigeon nests, and that's because pigeons like to nest in quite hard to reach places like caves or cliff faces. We're not going to stick around too long though, so the parent birds can return to the nest. So in this small crack up here at the mouth of the cave, we have found a Dor Benton's bat. They're incredible bat species because they fly over ponds and lakes and they hunt aquatic insects. So here we found the other horseshoe species that we have in the UK, the greater horseshoe. As you can see, it's a lot larger than the lesser horseshoe that we found earlier. And these guys are awesome because they only ever hang freely like this, which gives them the nickname light bulb bats. And they're just awesome. It has been amazing to be here today. Thank you so much to the Cornwall Bat Group for letting us come along on one of their hibernation surveys. I cannot wait till bats finish hibernating and return to the night skies once more.
Wow, What a privilege to see bats that up close, Maisie. Most people only get to see them when they're waking out of hibernation.
I know, and it's well worth keeping your eyes peeled on these hot summer evenings for bats flittering around and foraging. If you're lucky, you might even see nocturnal bats whose calls are sometimes audible to the human ear.
Well, continuing with the mammal theme, earlier in the colder depths of winter, I went and searched for particular species armed with just a few tracking techniques. Today, we're on the lookout for one of the UK's favourite mammals. It's actually now our largest land predator and in the same family as otters and weasels. However, it's nocturnal, so though it's common, it's elusive and rarely seen. Do you know what mammal I'm talking about? Of course, I'm talking about the badger. Now, while they can be easy to identify one when you see it with its iconic black and white markings, it can be harder to spot the signs. One of the signs that we found is this badger trail running through the meadow, which badgers have used by consistently using this pathway to cross it. And another sign that we've got here is this badger paw print right in the middle of the trail. The trail that we found leading across the meadow has led to the ultimate sign that badgers are using this space, the badger set. Now this is where badgers will live underground in their large family groups. If you look outside, you can actually see old bits of leaves and grass that the badgers have brought out. This is the old bedding that badgers use to line their set. Now we've found somewhere we definitely know there are badgers, we're going to leave a camera trap and see what footage we can find of these hard to see creatures. Camera traps are actually a great way of getting footage of creatures that can be quite elusive. So they work through sensors, so when the sensor is triggered, a video will be taken. We're going to leave this one strapped to the post here, but also put a few more up around the site. At the end of this episode, we're going to see what footage of badgers we could find.
Ali, I can't wait to see what you captured.
Well, I haven't seen the footage either, so we're all going to have a big reveal together to see did we or didn't we get footage of badgers.
Guys, I've got a real treat. This here is a badger skull from me and my friend's collection. And badger skulls are really interesting because they never lose the bottom jaw because of interlocking bones. That and the sagittal crest here along the back are what give badgers such a powerful bite, which helps with their omnivorous diet.
Truly an amazing species. But before we look back over the camera footage, I caught up with a group of people trying to make a difference in Cornwall and talked to them about an issue that's at the forefront of the marine conservation agenda. We're at Gilly Beach in Falmouth today, and when you're using a beach like this, unfortunately, it doesn't take very long at all before you start to come across single-use plastics, such as this. As people become more aware about the issues surrounding single-use plastics, local communities are really starting to come together and try to do something about it. And this is a perfect example. Today, we're going to join the Falmouth Marine Conservation Group and take part in the Big Spring Beach Clean. So I'm here with Jade from the Falmouth Marine Conservation Group, and we've had a really good day's beach cleaning. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Falmouth Marine Conservation Group and what you guys do?
Yeah, so the Falmouth Marine Conservation Group is an active group of volunteers that works in the local community, so works in Falmouth. We work with businesses to try and work with them to make their business a little bit more sustainable. We also work with youth groups and children because they are the next generation of policymakers and of conservationists, and they will, if we work with them when they're younger, they will grow up to be adults that are a bit more aware of their impact on the environment. We also do a lot of research in the local area, so for example all of the litter that's been collected today on the beach will be sorted, categorised and weighed to go towards national data.
46.
48.
And obviously a lot of the litter that we found today did consist of those marine plastics. Can you tell us a little bit more about them and why plastics in particular are such a big issue for our ocean ecosystems?
Yeah, so plastics has been in the media a lot lately because it's a massive issue. A lot of wildlife, for example seals, get entangled in bits of marine plastic like fishing net. Bioaccumulation is also a big issue that not many people know about. So when plastic gets in the ocean, it acts as a big magnet for all of the chemicals that get dumped out at the sea. As well as that, we've got ingestion, so fish at all levels of the food chain ingest bits of plastics. So from the tiniest plankton to the biggest blue whale, they'll all ingest plastics, and that eventually gets into us as well.
89,
91.
3. Well, Jade, thank you ever so much for hosting this event. It's been absolutely brilliant to take part in.
I can't quite put my finger on it, Emil, but I feel there's something a bit different about you since we did that section.
Well, I was hoping you'd notice. I have been sunning myself, and I think it might be the tan.
Got a nice tan. Well
Anyway,
done.
I had a fantastic time the other day, and if anybody wants to get involved with beach cleans all over Cornwall, the best place to head is to the Facebook page of the Falmouth Marine Conservation Group.
That's awesome. I'm really excited. Can we check out the camera trap footage?
It is time. Shall we see, did we get any
Go on,
footage
then.
of badgers? Pop it there. Yes, this is where we set up one of the camera traps.
Nothing yet.
No. Got some good habitat.
Oh, yay!
Hello.
We got one!
It looks like it's marking its territory and heading out into a field to forage for worms or
Fantastic.
slugs or
Can't believe we
something.
got
That's
badger.
brilliant.
I'm so happy. Oh wow, should we check one of the other cameras then?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
on. Let's keep going.
Pop it along here.
Oh,
we've got
hello.
another one.
They're having a little scratch, it looks.
Oh, at this time of the year, badgers are likely to have cubs underground in their set. It won't be long till they emerge.
Brilliant. There it goes. Oh my god!
No
Got a
way!
fox as well.
Brilliant.
Wow, 2 top British carnivores in one camera trap. Doesn't get any better than that.
That's so cool.